Do you dread the moment the sun goes down? That creeping feeling when the busyness of the day fades and suddenly your mind won't stop racing. You replay conversations, worry about tomorrow, and no matter how exhausted you are, sleep feels completely out of reach. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone, and more importantly, there is a real solution, and it starts tonight. Welcome back. Today we are diving deep into something that affects millions of people but almost nobody talks about openly. Evening anxiety. That specific, almost cruel kind of stress that hits hardest when you should finally be winding down. We are going to break down exactly why this happens, what your current nighttime habits might be doing to make it worse, and how to completely redesign your evenings so that you actually end your day feeling calm, grounded, and genuinely ready for rest. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will have a clear, practical framework you can start using tonight. Let me start with something that might surprise you. The reason evenings feel so overwhelming for so many people is not random. It is actually deeply connected to how your brain processes the day. During daylight hours, your mind is occupied. You have tasks, conversations, deadlines, and distractions pulling your attention in every direction. But the moment that external stimulation drops, your brain finally has space to process everything it pushed aside. All those unresolved worries, that email you forgot to send, that argument you had at lunch, the bills, the goals, the fears, they all surface at once. This is what researchers sometimes describe as the mental processing backlog, and it is completely normal. The problem is not that your brain is doing this. The problem is that most of us have no system in place to handle it gracefully. Here is the first major insight I want you to hold on to. Your evening routine is either actively helping your nervous system calm down, or it is secretly keeping it on high alert. And for most people, it is the second one. Think about what a typical evening looks like. You finish work, maybe you scroll through your phone, you watch something stimulating or stressful on television, you eat late, you stay in bright light until right before bed, and then you wonder why you cannot sleep or why your thoughts are spiraling. Every single one of those behaviors sends a signal to your nervous system that the day is not over, that it still needs to stay alert and ready. Your brain is incredibly obedient to environmental cues, and when those cues say danger or urgency or stimulation, it responds accordingly. So what is the alternative? This is where intentional evening design comes in, and I want to be really clear that this is not about following some rigid schedule that works for a wellness influencer but not for your actual life. The most effective evening routines are personalized. They are built around your specific triggers, your schedule, your living situation, and honestly your personality. Some people calm down through gentle movement. Others need creative expression. Some find that a hot shower works miracles. Others need total silence. The science points to consistent principles, but the application is entirely yours to shape. Let me walk you through those core principles. The first one is what I call the transition signal. Your brain needs a clear marker that says the workday is finished. This might sound simple, but it is genuinely powerful. Something as deliberate as changing your clothes, brewing a specific tea, or going for a short walk at the same time each evening trains your nervous system to shift gears. You are essentially creating a Pavlovian response for calm. Do this consistently and within a few weeks your body begins to relax almost automatically at that time. The second principle is sensory environment management. Light is the most powerful cue your brain uses to regulate your circadian rhythm. Bright, blue tone light tells your brain it is midday. Dim, warm light tells it the day is ending. Switching to warmer lighting sources after a certain hour is one of the highest return, lowest effort changes you can make. Sound matters too. Cluttered, noisy environments maintain stress levels even when you are sitting still. Creating a quieter, more intentional soundscape in your evening hours signals safety to your nervous system. Now here is something that often gets overlooked. Technology. We all know screens are not great before bed, but the issue goes beyond blue light. The content matters enormously. Scrolling through social media or news before bed is essentially the equivalent of inviting every stressful conversation in the world into your bedroom. That is not a judgment, it is just neuroscience. The brain does not distinguish between watching something upsetting on a screen and experiencing it in real life. The emotional response is nearly identical. Smart technology integration means using your devices intentionally. There are tools, apps, and settings that can actually support your evening calm rather than undermine it. The key is being deliberate rather than reactive with how and when you use them. The third principle is structured release. Your anxiety needs somewhere to go. One of the most effective methods for doing this is what some call a worry dump or brain dump. Before you try to sleep, spend 5 to 10 minutes writing down everything that is circling in your head. Not to solve it, not to journal beautifully, just to get it out of your mind and onto a page. Research consistently shows that this simple act reduces the emotional intensity of anxious thoughts and makes it significantly easier to fall asleep. You are essentially telling your brain that it does not need to keep cycling through those thoughts because they are safely stored somewhere. Breathing practices are another underestimated tool. Specific breathing techniques can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest response, within minutes. Extended exhale breathing, where your exhale is longer than your inhale, is one of the most evidence-supported methods for reducing anxiety quickly. It is free. It takes no equipment, and it can be done anywhere. Now let us talk about something that keeps people stuck: progress without tracking. Building a new evening routine is genuinely transformative, but only if you give it time and pay attention to what is working and what is not. The people who see the most lasting results are those who check in with themselves regularly and adjust their routine as their life evolves. Seasons change, stress levels change, your needs change. Your routine should be a living system, not a fixed protocol. Real people who have implemented these kinds of structured, personalized evening routines consistently report improvements that go beyond just sleeping better. They describe feeling more in control of their emotional state, less reactive during the day, and genuinely more present with the people they care about. Because when you stop spending your evenings in quiet panic, you stop spending your days exhausted from not recovering overnight. Everything improves when your evenings improve. Let me give you something concrete before we wrap up. Tonight, try 3 things. First, dim your lights or switch to a warmer light source by 8 in the evening, or whatever is 2 hours before your ideal bedtime. Second, spend 7 minutes before bed writing out everything on your mind with no filter or structure required. Third, before you close your eyes, try breathing in for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, and breathing out for 6 counts, and repeat that cycle for 5 minutes. These 3 actions alone begin to shift the nervous system response associated with your evenings. They are not magic, but they are the beginning of a genuinely different relationship with the end of your day. What we have talked about today is only the beginning. The full framework for designing your personalized evening routine, including the science behind each element, real case studies, specific tools for tracking your progress, and advanced strategies for managing anxiety long-term, is laid out in detail in the Evening Calm Guide. A link to it is in the description below. Whether you are dealing with chronic anxiety or simply want to end your days with more peace, this guide gives you the precise roadmap to make that happen. The way you end your day shapes the way you begin the next one. You deserve evenings that feel like relief, not dread. Start tonight, start small, and know that every intentional choice you make after sunset is an investment in who you wake up as tomorrow morning. Hit that subscribe button if you want more content on managing anxiety and building a life that actually feels good to live. I will see you in the next one.